Hello, Dolphins fans. We have some very important news to bring you today, and we will also talk about an important player who may be leaving the Miami Dolphins. I will tell you everything that is happening, but first make sure you have already pressed the like button if you have been a Miami Dolphins fan since the 70s. It is great to see you here. There are people here who were at the Dolphins' first game. Maximum respect. If possible, write something like this: the Miami Dolphins live in my heart. Well, let's start by talking about this news that has divided opinions among fans on the web. Can the Miami Dolphins afford to lose Jevon Holland? Since arriving in the NFL as a second-round pick from Oregon, Jevon Holland has been an essential piece of the Miami Dolphins defense. His talent and leadership have helped shape the team's secondary, making him one of the most respected players on the roster. However, after a subpar 2024 season, Holland's future in Miami is far from certain. With the Dolphins facing financial challenges this offseason, his contract situation could be one of the franchise's biggest dilemmas. Holland has said he wants to stay, but he's also open to other possibilities. Tell me, Dolphins fan, is it worth paying the price to keep Jevon Holland in Miami? Leave your comment below. Now, changing the subject, the Miami Dolphins have officially filled their final coaching vacancy, and the hire has sparked a wave of debate among fans. Special teams has been a sore spot for the Dolphins over the past few seasons, ranking near the bottom of the league in multiple statistical categories. Now, the franchise is banking on a fresh start with Craig Aukerman, the former Tennessee Titans special teams coordinator, to turn things around. Aukerman's journey in the NFL has been a long one. Since 2010, he has built a resume that includes stops in Jacksonville, San Diego, and multiple stints with the Titans. He worked as an assistant before being promoted to Tennessee special teams coordinator, a role he held for nearly 6 seasons under head coach Mike Vrabel. However, his tenure in Tennessee came to an abrupt end in 2023 when he was fired mid-season following a disastrous loss that featured 2 blocked punts, 1 returned for a touchdown. After sitting out the 2024 season, Aukerman is now set to take charge of Miami's special teams unit, replacing Danny Crossman. The reaction to Aukerman's hiring has been mixed. Many Dolphins fans have voiced concerns on social media, arguing that the move doesn't represent an upgrade over Crossman. Some see it as a lateral move rather than the significant improvement the team desperately needs. However, others believe Aukerman's experience and past success make him a solid choice for the role. Looking at the numbers, there's reason for optimism. During Aukerman's tenure with the Titans, Tennessee's special teams unit performed well according to Pro Football Focus, ranking in the top half of the league for most seasons. Even in 2023, before his dismissal, the unit maintained respectable grades. The only season where his unit finished in the bottom half of the league was 2020. Compared to Miami's recent struggles, where the Dolphins' special teams ranked 31st in 2024, 29th in 2023, and dead last in 2022, this hire does appear to be a step in the right direction. One of Aukerman's biggest accomplishments in Tennessee was developing punter Ryan Stonehouse, who had one of the best punting seasons in NFL history in 2022. Stonehouse set the all-time NFL record for most yards per punt in a single season, averaging an astonishing 53.1 yards per attempt, breaking a record that had stood since 1940. If Aukerman was able to help Stonehouse achieve that level of success, there's hope he can improve Miami's struggling punt game. Speaking of punters, one of the biggest questions heading into the 2025 season is whether Jake Bailey will remain on the Dolphins roster. Bailey has struggled, and many see him as a potential cut candidate. Releasing him would free up nearly $2 million in cap space, which could be used to either draft a new punter in the later rounds or find a suitable replacement in free agency. Aukerman's history suggests he values strong punting performances, so it wouldn't be surprising to see Miami make a move in that area. While the special teams hire has dominated headlines, there's another storyline worth celebrating. Tight end Jonnu Smith is heading to the Pro Bowl. Smith had a career year in Miami, finishing the season with 88 receptions for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns. He broke franchise records for receptions and receiving yards by a tight end, solidifying himself as a key piece of the Dolphins' offense. With 1 year left on his contract, it will be interesting to see if Miami offers him an extension. Despite Miami's disappointing 2024 season, Smith's breakout performance provides a bright spot for the team. With the Pro Bowl taking place in Orlando, Dolphins fans will have the chance to see one of their own representing the franchise on a national stage. Now, let's turn it over to you, Dolphins fans. What do you think of Craig Aukerman's hire? Do you believe he can turn around Miami's special teams, or do you see this as another questionable coaching move? And what are your thoughts on Jonnu Smith's incredible season? Drop your opinions in the comments. One of the biggest concerns surrounding Craig Aukerman's arrival is whether he can truly elevate Miami's special teams beyond mediocrity. Over the past 3 seasons under Danny Crossman, the Dolphins' special teams have consistently been one of the worst in the NFL. Coverage breakdowns, poor blocking, and inconsistent kicking performances have plagued the unit, costing the team valuable field position and momentum in key games. Aukerman, despite his unceremonious exit from Tennessee, has had success in coaching special teams that ranked in the middle of the pack or better for most of his tenure. If Aukerman can implement the same techniques that helped Tennessee maintain respectable special teams performances, then even a slight improvement would be a welcome change. Miami hasn't had a top 15 special teams unit in years, and with the team already fielding a high-powered offense under Mike McDaniel, having a reliable special teams unit could make a massive difference in close games. One area where Aukerman will need to make immediate decisions is in the return game. Miami has struggled to find a consistent kick and punt returner in recent years. While players like Braxton Berrios and Jalen Waddle have handled return duties at times, there hasn't been a true game changer in that role. Aukerman will have to evaluate whether the Dolphins should invest in a specialist via free agency or the draft, or if they should continue using existing roster members to handle returns. Then, there's the kicking situation. Jason Sanders has had an up-and-down career in Miami. At times, he's looked like one of the best kickers in the NFL, earning an All-Pro nod in 2020. But inconsistency has crept into his game, especially from long distances. Aukerman's input on whether to stick with Sanders or explore other options will be something to watch closely in training camp. A lot of Aukerman's success will also depend on the personnel moves Miami makes this offseason. If the Dolphins cut Jake Bailey and bring in a punter who can help flip field position more effectively, it could have an immediate impact. Aukerman's history with Ryan Stonehouse suggests he values leg strength, which means Miami could target a punter with a big leg either in the draft or undrafted free agency. The bigger picture here is that Miami is taking steps to address one of its weakest areas, and whether or not Aukerman is the perfect hire, he at least represents change, and change was needed. Mike McDaniel has proven that he can build an elite offense. Vic Fangio's defense had its ups and downs, but injuries played a big role in their struggles. Special teams, however, has been a consistent weakness, and Aukerman now has the responsibility of turning that around. Switching gears to Jonnu Smith, his journey to the Pro Bowl is one of the most underappreciated stories of Miami's season. While the Dolphins were known for their explosive offense led by Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle, Smith quietly became one of the team's most reliable targets. His 88 catches for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns not only set new career highs, but they also broke franchise records for tight end production. Smith's versatility was a huge asset for Miami. He was effective in short yardage situations, reliable in the red zone, and even showed the ability to stretch the field when needed. Considering that he was originally signed as a complementary piece rather than a primary weapon, his performance far exceeded expectations. His Pro Bowl selection is significant not just for him, but for the entire Miami Dolphins organization.